Let's start the podcast.
I could put you in the brig for what you've done, but I won't do it.
Take the lead.
We are two L's, one pod. This is volume, I believe, 281. Could that be right? 281?
You are correct, sir.
Wow. Look at us. Look at us doing it. I'm Al Romas. I'm home. I think we're both home today. A rare.
We're both homos
home-
today.
Both homos today. Nothing new there. But yeah, I'm in Clearwater, Florida. That's Al Ducharme, Studio City, California. Back from a whirlwind. You just did a whirlwind little trip. How are you?
A mini trip. I'm well. I did a little mini trip to Vancouver, Canada. Overnighted there. I love that city so much. And then great food. And then I joined the Princess or the Crown Princess, a cruise
The
ship.
Crown Princess.
Yes. And then we sailed 2 sea days to San Fran, and then I flew home.
Now this was this was new this year, kind of a new thing. Princess went to the come on for a night or two and do a bunch of shows and then get the hell off and we'll give you a full check, and we all kind of grabbed at it. Mine was a one night, 3 shows, night off, day, then home. How did yours go? How many shows? And adult or family, or what do they give you there?
Family friendly on the second day that I was on, and it was a formal night, and I only had 2 shows. And then the cruise director booked his Love and Marriage show, which is a comedy show with couples. And then they had a big production show all scheduled at the same time. So I had a small, tight crowd that nobody was sitting in the front. So there was like 40 feet before an audience. That was not the easiest one.
Those are fun. Yeah.
It was my warm up. I actually told them, I said, this is my dress rehearsal for the big show at 10:30.
And they laughed and laughed.
And they laughed. And then
Yes.
the 10:30 show was packed because I had no competition, and they were great. So
Nice.
there you have it. And then the following night, I had an adult show at 10:30, and that one was equally as good.
In the theater or the lounge?
No, all the lounge.
Oh, the lounge. Yeah, I
Well,
like the lounge.
I do like the lounge.
It was kind of good. Nice.
But when I was hired, they told me it was going to be 3 shows, 6:30, 8:30, and 10:30, and then I was done. So then instead of just doing 30 minutes of whatever I want, mixing it up, I had to do a full hour.
Yeah.
And which is fine, but when you have it
Wasn't
in your
the
head,
deal.
yeah, it's not the deal. They
Wasn't
broke
the
my
deal.
contract. They broke my contract. How was it for you? Attendance.
I got to do the 3, 6:30, 8:30, 10:30 in one night in the lounge. It was good. I mean, 6:30 was almost full. 8:30 was packed. 10:30 was a little bit late on the Caribbean Princess, and that one was about half full. And I had I think the moat kind of feel without the front row. But you're doing 30 clean in a lounge. It's like, okay. And then you're off the next night and going home the day after. I was like, this is pretty sweet.
I didn't have that luxury.
Yeah.
I had my 10:30, and then singer Eric Bryan, do you know him? He's actually a singer magician, believe it or not. But
no,
he was waiting at the bar, and then the cruise director came off, and then came over from his thing, and Eric handed me a double bourbon.
Oh,
because I had bought him a drink after his show, so he was making up for it.
Did you know this guy, or do you just?
No, we met. We just met on the road, doing the same itinerary, and I hadn't been on Princess in so many years. There's a different kind of culture there, so he was very nice, and he showed me all those shortcuts, and blah blah blah. So I said, I'm buying you a drink after your show. And then he returned the favor.
Nice.
And so we hung out. We actually had a lot of fun, but because I was a downliner, gay sex, I was a downliner, meaning that I joined mid-cruise, And when you do that, you have to get up at some ungodly hour the next morning before any of the passengers can get off the ship. You have to be seen by the authorities, the
Right.
border people and all that. So the alarm goes off at 6 a.m. after being out late with the boys. And then you wait for about an hour and 15 minutes before anybody sees you. And then they kick you off, and then your flight's not until 2:15 in the afternoon, and you're basically homeless in San Francisco. So you're not alone.
No. Well, you fit right in. You get a tent, and you lay on the street, and you shit your pants, and someone puts $1 in your empty Starbucks cup. So, there's ways to fill time in San Fran that's not horrible. One of the guys, some guy we know, I don't know if we know him, but on the guest entertainer, we have this group on Facebook, entertainers, and they'll just, bitch about travel and stuff. And one of the guys wrote, like he had made it up. He wrote, you know what it is? We're paid to travel. I'll do the shows for free. And I wrote, really? That you're saying? You're coining that phrase? And
from
like
25 years ago.
25. I think Abbott and Costello said that at some point. We're paid to travel.
I'm just talking about in the cruise industry. That was.
Oh yeah.
That was a repeated line from everything.
And I don't like that line. I don't like that line because I won't do the shows for free. I'm not up there having for shits and giggles. I want to get paid and go home.
At this stage of the game, I'm enjoying performing, but I'm doing it for a paycheck.
Of course. It's like a young MC. When a young MC, they'll go, have fun up there. And you go, shut up.
Like you know what?
Thing.
Yeah,
shut up.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Don't tell me to have fun. I can have fun. Sometimes it's fun. I'm not saying it's not.
It's a job. It's a job.
It's a job.
I don't have the Bill Burr bank account, but I'm doing much better than the open micer in New York. So.
Yeah, and I think most comedians have found that out now, and they want in. There's a lot of different cruise lines. This new thing, MSC, and Virgin's got a couple of ships going, and I don't know if they're doing comedy, but there's a lot of there's going to be Ritz-Carlton's doing a cruise. There's going to be a lot of stages for comedians on the high seas if they want them. That it goes back to, can they do it? That's a different story. There's a lot of a lot of good comics have tried, and for whatever reason they couldn't do it. They didn't like it, whatever. But it didn't work out, which is good for the guys who can do it. Guys like you and I, and that's about it. I think you and I are it pretty much. The rest of them not so good. But as long as they have the 2 L's, one pod.
That's all you need. That's all you need. The 2 L's, one pod, and a bottle of Pert shampoo and conditioner in one.
Goddamn right. Yeah. And you wouldn't have your foibles of luggage and liquids. And by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but I was doing a little science experiment. A bottle of Pert will last you 3 weeks. It'll last 21 shampoos and conditions, and then you're done. Because I brought it with me on a 3-weeker, 1 shower a night, and 21 days for a bottle of Pert.
No, I don't wash my hair every day. I skip a day or two.
We know it doesn't look good.
If I'm not active at all,
you want to get that. Look at. I'm 87. Look at my hair.
You do. I
get in there. I get in there, man. You gotta really massage the scalp. That's what keeps me hard. You know what I mean? Just massage that scalp.
Oh, I skip the scalp and go right for the pubes, and that keeps me hard.
You do those every day.
That keeps me very hard for about 1 minute.
Ma'am, Bernie, I'm massaging the pubes. What do you mean? What am I doing? What would you go that way? It's just a massage of the pubes.
Hey, here's something.
Isn't there a thing though?
I had a dream.
Have to shower every day just to.
It's good for your natural. Builds up your immunities to
like your
cold and flu season.
Privates and your ass, you should shower that every day. But your hair and face, you don't have to do that every day. It's not
because it dries out your natural ability to lubricate your whole body.
I'm not lubricated.
Fight against.
And that's the problem.
colds and flus as well as another. I don't know if that's a folk tale or not, but yes.
Right.
But speaking of masturbation,
Sure. With a couple of chants here. Go ahead.
I had a dream
Hey now.
that there was a video, a hidden camera of me in a hotel servicing myself. And I couldn't go out into society, and I was shamed, and I was contemplating taking myself out. Whereas someone like Louis C.K.
Taking yourself out? What, to dinner?
To dinner. Yeah, to the Outback. I'm going to get the petite filet.
What the hell?
It comes with a salad, right?
This guy masturbates and takes himself out to dinner. That's classy. I'll tell you right now, that's a classy man.
Cheap date.
I just cry usually at the end, but you, look at you taking yourself out for a nice meal over at the Outback. Way to go.
The Last Supper. All right.
Way to go.
I don't know why I went off on that. Anyways, I've been drinking coffee.
You got off on that. Yeah, well, today is Cinco. We're recording on Cinco de Mayo. Cinco de Mayo, which is also, go ahead.
May the 5th of bourbon be with you.
Yes. Also, a Patreon member of ours, John Shipman, comedian from the past, but a Patreon member. It's his birthday, Cinco de Mayo.
That's right.
Johnny. Big Johnny is.
Love the John.
I don't know how old
Shipman.
he is exactly, but he's.
I think he's turning the big 5-0. The big 5-0.
Yeah, I think he's older than that.
Well, I was trying to be nice. It's his birthday. Why don't you be nice to the guy, for Christ's sakes?
He might be the big 5-0.
Drink him up, people. Let's go. Last call. Drink him up.
Exactly. Yeah, I had a birthday. I had a party once, a surprise birthday party, and there were some douchebags there that wouldn't leave, and John literally did that for real. He walked around the house going, "All right, let's go. Let's go, people.
You don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here." So yeah, happy birthday to Big Johnny on Cinco de Mayo. Are you any plans today, sir? Will you go out and have a meal, a Mexican meal? Will you masturbate and then go have a nice dinner with yourself at a Mexican restaurant? A couple of margaritas.
Well, at 5:00 West Coast time, the Bruins are playing Game 1 of Round 2 of the NHL Finals against.
This guy's not a fan.
Oh shit!
He doesn't know
it's coming back.
Playing.
It's coming back.
This is awful.
Back.
Drop that video. Drop that video you have of you masturbating. Put that in here, and
I did that with the last clip.
Oh, good.
Anywho, yeah, so that's happening. But if my wife is flying in from the East Coast, Bernadette Pauly, very funny. Bernadette Pauly. She's landing later on this afternoon, and I have to retrieve her ass from LAX. So it depends on how that goes.
The Bruins are playing tonight. I mean, didn't they just play? Wasn't that a night last night?
2 nights ago.
Oh, that was 2 nights ago.
Oh, that was last night?
I thought that was last night.
Oh, then it's tomorrow night. They have a night off. Yes, and then they play.
This guy is not a fan.
You know what it is? This airs.
I'm just putting it out there.
This airs on Monday, and I am correct.
Yeah, well, we're talking on Sunday, recording Cinco de Mayo.
Right. You got me all mixed up. You know when I'm off, so you take advantage of it.
I know when you got off.
I'm like a gazelle. I'm like a gazelle in Africa, and you're like a part of the hyenas. You're a part of the hyena pack, and you're just like waiting for me.
I can't get over the fact you take yourself out for a nice meal. That's really I'm impressed. I'm impressed by that. You know,
do you take yourself out for a cigar?
No,
solo?
I don't. Well, I don't.
You don't go solo. Ladies and gentlemen, this guy will spend $50 round trip on a taxi to have an $8 cigar because he's getting a discount instead of just getting a $20 cigar.
What?
100 yards away.
No, how dare you? My system works. My system works beautifully. Yeah, so no plans.
This guy sells the same cigar for $8. This guy wants 20. I'm taking a $50 cab ride to get the $8 cigar.
That's right.
Thank God you're not running the country.
Thank God. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just put gas in the car. Thank God I'm not running the country. So no plans, Cinco de Mayo?
I just told you I'm going to be with the lady, and if everything, sometimes we stop at a restaurant on the way back from the airport, depending on how the other person is, and then we have a meal and a drink or two, and then we come home. But we'll have to see how it plays out.
If she was home, if this was a normal Sunday, but Cinco de Mayo, would you go out on Cinco de Mayo, or does it matter? Or you're like, I can get Mexican anytime?
It's 50-50. We have 2 or 3 restaurants that we can actually walk to, so there's no driving involved. We have Mexicali, which they have a great picture of margaritas, and then we have another place down the street here. Yeah, something Pete's, jalapeno.
I've been to Mexico. I've been to Mexico. That's a chain, right, in California.
Mexicali? Is it? I think so, but I've only seen the one that's nearby. I went to the one in Los Angeles, but I don't know where in relation to where you are and how far that would be. Well, we're just over the hills, on the foothills of the other side, the valley.
Oh, I see. How far are you from the Sportsman's Lodge?
We can walk there in about
there you go.
About 30 minutes.
Okay. So that might have been the same Mexicali, because I stayed at the Sportsman's Lodge, and then
it was. Then you were now Mexicali is about a 7-8 minute walk from here. Okay, and we've done that, and we've got the pictures, and we sat outside on the sidewalk, and but they have a nice bar in there. I like their bar too.
Mexicali. Yeah, I don't remember the bar. It was a long time ago. That's when I was at Sportsman's Lodge, and I was in the elevator, and I see this guy standing there with his coffee, and it looks just like Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats. And
oh, right, yeah,
we're both from Massapequa, so I go, hey, big fan, something like that. And he goes, hey, thanks, man, appreciate it. Like, really, like, nice. And then I said, I'm from Massapequa too, and he was like, what? Like, how the fuck? 2 guys here in sports? I go, yeah,
in the elevator. And then you blew him.
In the elevator, that's right. And like a movie, I hit the stop button. We just stopped mid. Yeah.
Made love, made passionate love.
I like how in movies they always know exactly how to, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been in a million elevators. I would still have to look at it and be like, wait a second, if I hit this, are we gonna stop? Or is that in movies they're talking to the guy, they just punch it like
without looking. Yeah, because the orientation, been in a million of these. An orientation is different.
Yeah.
I hate when I go on elevators, they have buttons on each side, right? You can, you know, though, and then you get on another elevator and it's on the other side, and you go to the blank wall, and then you got to turn around. You go, oh, excuse me, would you mind hitting floor?
Well, that's why I like on Icon, there's no buttons inside, but people get on and they don't, the first day or two, and they're always like, what are we doing? And then I go, did you hit a button outside? And they go, no. I go, well, you're going to 15.
That's the flaw.
Yeah, that's the flaw. Well, it takes a day. Some people, I mean, it's pretty simple. You should really grasp it like instantly.
If someone is 50 years old and they've been pushing elevators since they were
John
3.
Shipman turned 50 today.
That's right. Since 3 years old, 4 years old, when the parents would let them hit one of the buttons. All right, that's enough. That's enough. Don't push the other floors. That's what you got 47 years of training your brain to do that. So then all of a sudden you get on this icon, which is the Matrix. You know, nothing's real. It's all an illusion.
That's true. Especially our
it's
comedy.
Magical. I haven't been on, but
we tell them it's illusion. Did you enjoy it? No. Well, that's an illusion. You actually enjoyed it.
You actually did.
We were hilarious.
Woo! I mean,
nothing is real.
You can't blame these people for screwing up in the elevator, but go ahead. What else is happening?
Well, yeah, I can blame them.
What's happening July 20th?
July 20th? What is happening July 20th? Oh, the Tyson Jake Paul fight, which has been sanctioned. It's a real fight.
I know. That's what I wanted to talk about. So
Tyson's
how do they do that
right now? He's going
to how do they make it sanctioned? Was that part of it in the beginning? Was that all marketing saying, hey, we won't say anything about it being sanctioned until 2 months in when it's all hyped up?
Not sure. Don't know how that works, but I'm looking forward to it. And
Let's talk about the tattoos. Let's talk about the tattoos.
What tattoos?
Well, they both have tattoos, and Jake Paul has many more tattoos than Mike Tyson. And
Right.
there was a fake photo going around with Jake Paul that had the Mike Tyson tattoo on his face,
hmm
or a smaller
Oh,
version of it. And
I
it was
didn't see
fake.
the
It was
pic,
fake.
but
It was
yeah.
fake. But now they're saying, oh, now that Jake Paul saw that, he actually wants to get one.
Oh, okay.
And Mike Tyson, I believe he was one of the first people of celebrity status to get the face tattoo, and now it's becoming more commonplace.
I think the first, he had to be one of the first, definitely, because it was kind of shocking. Remember, Manson had a swastika in his forehead.
Right.
That was a nice look.
That was a good look. It worked out well for him.
I think Dennis Miller had the joke years on the Off-White album where he said Charlie showed up at the parole hearing with the swastika carved in his forehead. What better way to show the parole board you got your personal shit together? The Off-White album.
With the smarmy delivery.
He was the best, man. Hands in the pockets, no fucking around. Here are these jokes. That's it. He's, you know what I mean? Killer.
Yeah. Remember he was on the NFL there for a season or two?
That was weird, right?
It was weird and it failed, but I kind of enjoyed it a little bit.
Yeah.
It didn't
Al
work.
Michaels and Dennis Miller and whoever, some, ex-offensive lineman or something. But
Right.
yeah, that was strange. That was a weird
Was it? Did he make it? I know it was a 2-year deal. Did it go the full 2 years, or they just paid him out? Do you remember?
I can't remember. I want to say no. I don't.
Yeah.
I think they might have went 1 year and went.
That was a payday.
Yeah, that was not a bad. I mean, what guy wouldn't take? Imagine that you're offered to go do Monday Night Football. I mean,
Or what is it? 15 games, 16 games
at that time, probably 15.
right?
Probably
Yeah.
15. I saw Goodell on something. Roger Goodell, the commish, saying he's for losing the preseason because preseason's horrible. We don't need it.
Right.
And adding more games. They're going to add more games, and within 10 years, within 10, less than 10, there'll be at least 1 or 2 NFL teams in Europe, full season teams. I mean, that's just going to blow. You know what I mean? You got to fly to Frankfurt after being in, New Orleans 1 week. Then you're in Frankfurt.
I had to do that to join a cruise ship.
Well, we
Very
get paid to travel, sir. The shows are free.
Wow, full circle on that one. Whoop, call back. He's got callback waiting, ladies and gentlemen. Remember callback
we
waiting?
We heard from one of our Patreon members, Tom Meehan. We heard
successful
from him.
Surgery.
Yes, he saved the podcast to watch it when he was in his recovery, and he wrote that after watching it, he feels fantastic. And we're doing God's work there, son. That's what we're doing.
We are. He did leave out something. He messaged me privately, direct message, and he said, I laughed so hard, I had to go back in and get some more sutures.
Okay. Well,
so it almost went the other way.
Yeah, we almost had a bleed out from laughter, but we'll.
But
take
he's back. It was a success. He's feeling good, and all the best to you, Tom, with your healing and recovery.
Yes, we will see you when we see you, but we're sure if we're in town, wherever you are, you'll show up and say hi, and that would be great. And speaking of things that aren't making people laugh, I was just reading before we went to the pod here. I just put in my notes. Boy, Jerry Seinfeld's movie, Unfrosted. The reviews are not good.
No, but I want to see it, of course, because well, a lot of people say that he's an asshole, and I'm like,
well, that doesn't matter about the,
yeah. It's, Jay Leno said finally someone made a comedy movie.
Yeah, that's a little. Yeah. Well, Seinfeld came across like, I remember 15 years ago, Howard Stern was saying podcasting is stupid and nobody makes money and you sit in your basement. He didn't know what was happening at all. He missed it. And Seinfeld, when he goes, you used to be able to go home and see MASH or All in the Family or, Taxi and there were comedies, and he goes, not anymore because of the left. And it's like people are like, well, there's streaming comedies, Jerry. They're streaming. It's not
Yeah,
three channels
he
anymore.
kind of missed that one.
He
And then
missed it.
and everybody said,
70
"Oh,
and he missed it.
he's a right winger." And I'm like, "Who cares?" It doesn't necessarily mean he's left or right. He's making
No,
because
no.
he's the one who said the political correctness was killing the college tours, and he doesn't do
Right.
colleges anymore. And I
He's
have to
also
agree with
70.
him. And he's also
Shouldn't
yeah,
be doing
he's
colleges.
he's turning 70 this week or something, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he's been done. We're all done with colleges. I don't care
Yes.
what. Just you're past it. When the audience is 20 years old,
And
you
you're
come to an
married and you
age-
have
Yeah,
kids.
you can-
I
you
think
go,
when
"I
he
can't
I
do
think
this."
when he was 45 and he was dating the 19-year-old and picking her up in his Porsche at her high
Yeah.
school, I
Yeah.
think he was trying to say, you know what, these kids don't relate to me, but they give
I
really
like how
good
that's a
knob jobs.
slam on him. People think that's a slam on him. It's like, are you kidding? That's fantastic. Good for him. In the day, nobody gave a shit. If he's doing it today, it's weird. But back then, people did it. What was the big deal?
They did it. It was weird though. It wasn't that far back.
Okay.
It wasn't the 1950s.
The 90s. The 90s.
It wasn't the 50s
It's 30 years ago. 35.
where the
years
rich
ago.
guy marries off the 16-year-old girl with permission from her parents.
Right. I didn't just think it was. I mean, he met her and they went out. I don't know. He didn't marry her. He didn't.
Dude, she was 17 and he was 40.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean. She was 17. You know.
Leonardo DiCaprio's 49, and when his girlfriends hit 25, he gives them the heave ho.
Great. That's great. Why is that weird?
No, that's fantastic. That's a movie star right there.
Why
That's
are
an
people
A.
acting?
No,
weird
I like the whole. You know why? Because Leonardo's been doing that since he's 19,
right,
18. You know,
but people have they're in these weird relationships. They're jealous as hell, and then they go, "Oh, that's
I'm jealous.
bullshit." I would have married
bullshit.
that girl.
It's just showing
do it.
up in
Do
a
it.
Porsche at a high school was a little.
Yeah.
How about just sending an Uber?
Okay. Well, there was no Uber. It was
Oh,
30 years ago.
Come on, just a taxi. I'm trying to keep it current for the kids.
Yeah, I don't know. I never.
How does my
bothered
mic
me.
sound?
Never,
Am I drifting off? Or are you hearing me loud and clear?
loud and
Loud
somewhat
and
clear.
clear and somewhat clear. How's this?
That's
Better?
about the same as
Okay.
You sound like
But
Al Ducharme.
this sounds more like a radio guy right here.
Yeah, that's annoying. You know what I've been watching on TV? On the TV.
What have you
as
been
Norm
watching on the
Macdonald used to say,
television?
on the TV.
On network?
Below Deck. Below Deck.
Well, that's because your girlfriend is watching it. That's what that's all about. That's the only reason that show is on in my dwelling is because my wife is watching it. So,
But I like it. I got in.
oh my God! Why don't you have some Riesling and watch a couple of
enjoy
episodes?
a Riesling while I watch Below Deck, and then have my girlfriend paint my nails. It's fun. It's a nice evening, and how dare you make fun of it?
Let's admit it. Kelly has done good for your personality. She softened you a little bit from the old sea dog that you are, in a good way.
I don't know if you're saying if I'm getting softened by her. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
No, it is because you were so hard.
Oh, I was hard all the time. I was goddamn hard.
Perpetual hard on.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad show. But what makes me what was my point in this? I forget now. But I like the show. I was thinking about because I had a show. Do you remember? I don't know if I told you about it or we talked about this, but I had a show idea for cruise ships, and I pitched it to a guy who had done Shipmates on a Carnival ship. Do you remember that show, Shipmates? It was a dating show on cruise ships.
I don't remember. It was on.
It was
E?
on for. It could have been E. Yeah, that's not a bad. Oh no, either E or
AMC.
AMC, because this was like the 2000s, early 2000s, so maybe 2005. I don't know if these other channels were available then. I don't remember who now, but he was a guy in West Palm, and I saw Shipmates, and I saw Produced By, and I Googled the guy, and he was in West Palm Beach, and I had a production company, and I wrote him an email, and he wrote me back, and like right away he was like, "I love it. Let's do this." Because it was going to be basically I was stealing Dave Attell's Insomniac.
Right.
And I was going to so I'd be on the ship. I do a set. You'd see a couple minutes of stand up. And then we go off the beaten path in Cozumel, and I take you to some cool places and blah, blah, blah. So it's a travel show with some comedy.
Wait a minute. So it's a cross between Seinfeld, a travel show, and a dating game.
Right.
I love it. Why, that would fly now. That would fly now.
So he flies to Tampa. I pick him up. We go to my house and we're talking about it. He's like, I love it. I'm going to pitch it and we'll get it. Let's do this. Let's get a pilot made. So I'm like, great. I'm thinking, this is great. Holy shit. This was easy. And then a couple of weeks
never
later,
heard from him again.
Well, I did.
He ran with the idea, and he has Below Deck. He's executive producer.
I should look at the names on these credits, by the way. It could be him. But he called me a couple weeks later. He goes, yeah, Royal Caribbean, they're out. They won't allow it. And I go, allow what? And he goes, well, they want us to buy the cabins. They won't give us cabins. And he goes, and I was offering 2 to a cabin. He goes, I'll put a cameraman and blah, blah, blah. He goes, I only need like 4 cabins to shoot this whole pilot. And you're already on the ship.
Sure.
And he goes, no, he goes, they won't give us the cabins and they won't allow anything filmed inside the ship.
Yeah.
What? He goes, and they don't want, and if you film any passengers outside the ship, that also won't air.
Right.
So I go, what do we do? What? And then he goes, I'm going to pitch it to Carnival, but I didn't work Carnival then. But I go, okay, I could probably get on Carnival. And then they didn't like I guess shipmates didn't make Carnival look good because they were showing the drinking and whatever. Sure. And so they passed. And then he gave me a call and he goes, it's dead. Take care, buddy. Have a good life.
No, I think it's the corporate office, unless you're showing the cruise lines in a nice light, they're going to hesitate. And if they don't have control over it, they don't want any footage to sneak out. They're just trying to protect themselves. And it's outside.
But it's amazing. You're giving them a half-hour commercial.
Advertisement.
Fantastic advertising commercial for them, a half hour on the ship and
the shots. Below Deck is a chartered.
Yeah.
The owner of the yacht makes a fortune. The producers, the ad revenue comes in, and it's all controlled. There's no corporate. Right. You don't have to worry about corporate. And the passengers that are coming on, I don't know what kind of, if they give them a free cruise or a discounted cruise, knowing that they're going to be.
I Googled it.
Yeah, they're going to be filmed.
Right.
So some people just want to be on it. They want to.
Well, yeah, there are groups that have said no, and then they don't film them. They just think, okay, that week we're not filming.
Right.
But most people, they said the only thing they can get, and it wasn't verified, but air. They'll pay their air to Tahiti because you're going to be on the show. Mm-hmm. But at this point, I mean, people are paying $200,000 for 3 days.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. But I think also some of them are fake millionaires that are coming on. Yeah. That's my impression.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen, I don't know. Maybe some fake millionaires.
Well, I mean, they have money, but they're not like multi-millionaire. They're
not multi.
They want to be in the limelight. So a
lot of them do 10, a group of 10. So they split it.
Yeah.
So it's 10,000 each or something for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to be a millionaire. You just.
But some of them, what I'm saying, are playing that I'm a very wealthy person. Meanwhile, you spent 10 grand and you're going to get your 3 minutes on the episode.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It's $100,000 or more, 2 days, 3 days, depending. And it's like a luxury box at a stadium. The food and bev are not included.
Oh.
So you get the ride on the boat, and but what you want to eat, you got to put down on we want these type of wines, this type of vodka, this type, and then you pay for it, which I thought, wow, I thought it would be included, but no, not included.
I think it might be different for everything, and that is a television show. A friend of mine went on a private yacht like that, and the person that was paying for it, very wealthy, paid for everybody, and it was like a flat fee, and it was very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And they flew out private jet and landed and went out. They went out for 6 days.
Right.
Pretty nice.
Yeah. I don't know how that exactly, if there was some difference. Maybe not. I don't know. Hey, I went and had an oil change a couple days ago, and I go to a new place, brakes and tires kind of place, not a Jiffy Lube type. And I get there, and the guy goes, this girl, you had to see this girl at the desk. Do you remember Kristen Wiig on Saturday Night Live? She would do some characters with the girl with the baby hands. She had those little hands, and
Yes.
she had a hairline that was like back here. And so I walk in, and this girl has a hairline that's like starts in the middle of her fucking skull.
Yeah, get some bangs, girl.
And little littleish hands, not that way, but little. Like
right.
She, mama knew daddy, and this is some incest in the family, if you will. Let
go of me, daddy.
It's like you were there. And so she goes, I go, how long are we looking at? And she goes, an hour, maybe an hour. I go, all right. I go, an hour. So I'll go be out of here at 1:30 because it was 12. I'll be out here. And she goes, yeah, 1:30. And then the manager comes in and she goes, how long for an oil change? And he's like, 45 minutes. I go, oh, great. No problem.
Just an oil change.
Just an oil change. Yeah.
All right.
So there's a Walmart next door and a Wawa, and I go over there. I walk around, just bullshit, walk, come back, hour, and the car has not been taken in yet. Sitting in the parking lot in the spot that I parked it. So I go in and talk to whatever the fuck, and I go, and she doesn't know who I am, and I've been there an hour, and it was an hour. So I go, I dropped off the car for the oil change, and she's like, yeah. I go, I notice it's still outside. I go, is it done or has it even been in yet? Because it doesn't seem like it's been in. And she's like, I don't know. Let me ask. And then she leaves. And the manager comes back. Now, this guy who told me 45 minutes, now it's an hour. And it hasn't even been in. So I go, hey, is that car already done or has it been? He goes, buddy.
There it comes.
Had two guys at 9 a.m. They're both starting. And at noon, they went for lunch. They didn't come back. He goes, that's how it is today. He goes, people
that's because you treat
back.
them like shit. That's why.
That's why. Come back.
Because
so he's
something.
Like, I'm going to do it. Yeah. Well, there's a reason. Yeah. They didn't come. But this happens. It seems like everywhere I go now, I'm hearing the story of, we
pay them $2 extra an hour and they'll come back.
Yeah.
And don't treat them like dogs.
Yeah, and don't have this girl working up front. It's unsettling. Like,
well, she's blowing him. She's blowing the dude.
Ooh, I don't. Yeah. Well, she didn't have teeth, so that might not be bad, I guess, for her and him. But she had those baby teeth. You know, like you ever see an adult
the baby
with
hands?
Baby
yeah,
teeth?
yeah.
But what the fuck?
Little chiclets.
Your teeth didn't come in. Like, what is going on here? So, anyway, he goes, I'm going to do it myself. I'm taking the car and I'm going to do it myself. I go, all right. Now I'm an hour in. Do I leave? Do I keep it? So I go, all right. I go, so what are we looking at? Like half hour, 45 minutes? He goes, give me 45 minutes. I said, okay. I sit down. I fuck with my phone. Blah, blah, blah. I look outside 30 minutes in. The car's still sitting there.
No.
So now I'm over. Now I'm. Now I want.
Give me my keys. I'm out.
Almost 2 hours though. I've devoted to this.
Is he going to give you a free oil change at this point?
We haven't talked about that, but I go up to the little deliverance girl and I go, what's going on here? And then she goes, oh, I don't know. Hold on. And she goes, and the guy comes back and goes, hey, buddy, look, man. He goes, and he's all showing me how oily he is. He's like, hey, look, I'm the manager. I'm the man. He goes, I'm 40. I feel like I'm 55, for God's sake.
And he hasn't changed oil in 6 years.
I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about any of this.
Yes.
I go, yeah. I go, what is going on? He goes, this is ridiculous. He goes, I feel bad. He goes, we're out of the syntax, the type you need. That's the top
synthetic.
Yeah, we're out of that. Yeah. I go, you're out of it? You're out of oil?
Because he's not paying bills. He's not paying bills.
We're out of oil. So I go, all right. I go, you know what? Then I guess I'll just. He goes, no, 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 no. He goes, I'm doing it. I'm going to bring the car in right now. I'm going to do it right now.
Ugh,
And
I
I'm
hate this
like,
person.
dude,
I've seen
I
this
go, I've already
personality
been.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen this personality before. I hate it.
I go, I'm over 2 hours now. I go, this is like, I got here, this is 2 hours and 15 minutes. He goes, yeah, I'm going to get you out of here. I'm going to get you out of here. So I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, I should leave. But I'm like, all right. All right.
Wow.
So I do another.
I think Kelly really did soften you up a little bit. Al Romas would have put up with like 2 minutes of this, not 2 hours.
I know. It's terrible. I'm so ashamed. So I wait about another 45 minutes. I look out because I don't want to jinx it. So I look out and it's not there anymore. So it's up. So I wait another 10 minutes and I go outside and it's still just up there.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? This is a fucking oil change. It can't take that long.
Jiffy Lube, baby. Jiffy Lube.
Well, you remember when we drove to Maryland, I got the oil change at Take 5, and they didn't put the guard back up underneath, and that thing blew off on our drive. And so I've had no luck with these fuckers. So anyway, I see it. I go outside and the guy's under the car, and I go, "Hey, we're doing, almost done, doing great there, blah blah blah." And he goes, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." He goes, "I'll get you. I'm out. You're out of here. You're out of here in 5 minutes. You're out of here." I'm like, "Okay." Meanwhile, I'm not out of here in 5 minutes. What are you talking about? So I go back in. 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Anyway, cut to the chase. The whole thing, 4 hours. 4-hour oil change. He comes out with the keys and the thing. He goes, "You're all set." I go, "Dude, 4 hours?" He goes, "I'm knocking off $25 right off the top."
Are you kidding?
Right off.
Not a free oil change?
No. Yeah, I got a $75 oil change instead of $100 oil change.
Why is it $100?
Because it needs the synthetic oil.
Still, that's $60.
What do you pay for an oil change? What are you paying?
Well, we have a plug-in hybrid, and we're down to one vehicle, so we don't. It's a part of a service. We have like a BMW service plan, but we're a Honda. We bought it in advance. We paid $1,200, and it's just all taken care of, no questions asked.
Okay.
A little bit of peace.
Anyway,
a little bit of peace of
oil
mind.
changes now. It's been a while for you. They're up like everything else. They're not $60 anymore.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like even at wherever the last one I did, I forget which place we were at. That was $89 or $90 with tax.
Okay.
So anyway, he goes, "I'll knock 25 off." I said, and just stood there, and then he was like, "Best I can do." He goes, "I feel bad about this." I go, "For 4 hours, man." He goes, "I know. 25 off, that's all I can do."
It should have been 50. It should have been 0, but at least 50. $25 off is an insult.
Yeah, I was insulted. So
you're never going back there.
No, I'd never go back. And
what about the bad review? You going to give him a Yelp review? What are you going to do?
I did, and I don't. I used to do a little of the Yelping, and now I feel like it's too like a pussy move.
Here's what I do. To be honest with you, I give good reviews too. If occasionally when I give reviews, I'll give a good reviews. It's too easy to do a bad review. Most people don't give good reviews. They go, "Oh my God, that was great. Thank you." And they go, but when it's a bad review, they go, "This motherfucker." That was worthy of a bad review, though.
That one was worthy of it. I like the good review. I'll do that for like mom and pop restaurant if I go in and they're like killing it and go, I give them a nice one. But other restaurants, I always feel like, well, I'm not a chef or, I mean, like that whole idea of running home and telling them my, my steak wasn't medium rare or something. It's like, all right, shut up. Just don't go back.
Don't go back.
But I don't need to write a review of that. But this was annoying. He didn't have the personnel. I never got really angry because it didn't feel like it was just incompetence. I felt like this guy literally didn't have enough people working for him, and it just took forever.
But he grossly exaggerated what he was capable of doing without two guys.
It was
that
gross.
Walked out.
It was gross.
Two guys walked out because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
He treated them so much so that at noon for lunch, these two guys said, "This fucking guy is an idiot. He probably hasn't paid us in 2 weeks."
Wow.
And he probably said, "No, today, I got to go to the bank." There was a screw up. I switched banks, And they screwed up, and so they're putting me in the system, and I'll write you guys a check by the end of the day. And that was 5 days ago. And these guys are trying to feed their families. Adios.
Wow. Okay.
I've seen this guy before. I've seen him, man.
I had them more as just young crackheads who decided, let's go smoke crack instead of working today because it's hot.
That's a possibility.
I went that way. You went the other way.
That's because he doesn't pay enough per hour.
For crack.
And yet he's charging per hour and passing it on to the customer and making them wait 4 hours for an oil change. That's a broken system there. He's hiring crack addicts rather than
it's broken.
You don't have to pay them $65 an hour, but you got to pay them more than $15 an hour.
Yeah. A lot of these places though, they all have the same look, these guys. I think it's a lot of like work release from prison. I mean, they all have that look of
it's a rough life.
Time, but this is we got to do this now, and and then that cashier woman,
you get them cheap.
I don't know.
Yeah,
that woman. I mean, that was. I mean, think about how desperate they are. This woman, and no offense to her, blah blah blah. I don't even mean it to be mean. I'm just saying you would not hire this person to be the face of your business. It's very unsettling to walk in and see this woman behind the counter. You just go, you want to turn it doesn't work, but they have nobody else. Literally no one better has walked in and applied.
If you pay somebody $2 more, just $2 more an hour, you're going to get a totally different person. That extra $340.
You get a full head of hair. You get a full head of hair, maybe. You get some real teeth and a full-size hand.
Just somebody who's going to be a little bit more focused, and
for $2 a month.
It's for $340 a month extra, you're going to get a totally different person. And I don't even think that's a lot. If you give them an extra $5 an hour,
well, what are you crazy? What are you crazy? How are they going to stay open? How are they going to stay open on $90 oil changes if they pay someone $5 more? That doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean?
And that's the podcast for today.
I wasn't finished.
Oh, Kelly said you're rather quick about that. Hello. Peace. Hello.
So long, man. Have a good trip.
You. Iceberg, dead ahead. Don't forget to review us and rate us. It really helps.
The Talking Dicks became friends at a very young age, and the rest is history.
I'm losing my mind.
Patreon.com/The2Dicks, which is named after our web series.
This is the 2 Al's 1 Pod podcast.
Thanks for tuning in.
What?
Done.
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
We'll fix it in post, you son of a bitch.
Okay, sure.
All right. Subscribe. Mary. This was a horrible mistake.
Go to patreon.com/forward2dicks.
If you shoot me, you won't see a cent of that money. Why?
I think it ends on that. That's beautiful.